Welcome to our viewers from the Philippines and all around the world. I'm Japheth Saldana, and this is Japheth and Company. Along with our MIL Garnet correspondents who will accompany you to provide first-class and compelling stories that you can trust. Our headlines for today: Boxer Senator Manny Pacquiao will run for president of the Philippines. The Philippine boxing icon and senator has announced that he will run as president in the 2022 elections. Chinese company Evergrande has begun paying investors to own wealth management resources as the real estate owner faces a major test this week. And for our accompany with the Japheth portion, find out who will be interviewing with me next on the show. People's champ and Philippine Senator Manny Pacquiao will officially run for the presidency. What are his plans? How will he deal with the hurdles between the connection with the Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte? Joining me now is our MIL Garnet Chief Correspondent Billy Veroy to further illustrate this story.
Boxer Senator Manny Pacquiao has accepted his nomination for presidency in 2022 by a faction of the country's ruling party. In a speech during a nationwide conference held by the said party's faction on Sunday, the Boxer Senator vowed to eradicate poverty and corruption in the country should he be elected as president, warning politicians who will abuse their powers that they will be jailed quickly. Earlier, a rival faction had filed a petition before the Commission on Elections to declare Pacquiao's membership in the party as illegitimate. The Electoral Commission's decision on this matter is still pending. The rival faction had also nominated President Rodrigo Duterte and his former aide, Senator Christopher Lawrence Bongo, as its vice presidential and presidential bets, respectively, for the upcoming elections. Go has since declared refusal to vie for the country's top post. The 1987 Philippine Constitution prohibits an incumbent president for seeking The 1987 Philippine Constitution prohibits an incumbent president from seeking another presidential term, and so critics fear that Duterte's election as vice president would enable him to perpetuate his powers on the presidency. Duterte's administration garnered controversy for the thousands of killings allegedly related to its anti-illegal drugs campaign. The International Criminal Court recently announced it would look into the so-called crimes against humanity related to the current administration's crackdown on narcotic drugs. Duterte responded, saying he would rather die first before facing the charges. In May this year, Pacquiao criticized the Duterte administration for its supposedly weak stance on the South China Sea territorial dispute. The boxing champ also alleged that corruption in the country was up to 3 times worse than it had been. The boxing champ also alleged that corruption in the country was up to 3 times worse than it had been in the previous administrations. This further soured the relations with the incumbent president and eventually led to the split in the country's ruling party. Back to you, Japheth.
Thank you so much, Billy, for your report on Manny Pacquiao's election plans. BC Culture Day strives to bring people together via art. The core of this year's BC Culture Days is reconnecting through art and appreciating the tapestry of culture that makes up beautiful British Columbia. MIL Garnet correspondent Joshua Reyes filed this report.
Reconnecting through art and celebrating the culture mosaic that makes beautiful British Columbia is at the heart of this year's BC Culture Days. It's really about imagining what communities look like throughout this pandemic and coming out of it, said Ilana Bizove, Rotary Center for the Arts Community Engagement and Events Coordinator. I think art and culture is vital to that. It's a reconnecting tool for everyone, especially in this time. It helps us remember that we are really more alike than we are different. Under the theme Reimagine events will be put on both virtually and in person to inject a little bit of fun into the autumnal days ahead. You can do anything from whipping up an inspired meal and taking on a scavenger hunt to attending a performance by Ballet Kelowna. The Okanagan Ballet Company will return to the theater to their first in-person performance in almost 19 months, and will provide the audience with a glimpse of what it takes to be a ballet dancer. Launch is our annual informal one-hour sneak peek that we do every year, and it provides audiences with a glimpse into we are preparing for upcoming season, said Simon Orlando, Ballet Kelowna's artistic director and CEO. Pieces of various work as well as our dancers are on stage making company class before each performance. Ballet Kelowna presentation will take place September 24 and 25 at the Rotary Center for the Arts in Kelowna. I'm Joshua Reyes for MIL Garnet.
Evergrande, a Chinese real estate developer, has begun paying investors to have wealth management resources as the firm faces a major test this week. MIL Garnet correspondent Ian Montes Carlos filed this report.
Chinese company Evergrande has begun paying investors to own wealth management resources as the real estate owner faced a major test this week. Major banks told them they would not receive interest payment on debts due on Monday, while interest payment of 84 million or 61 million funds on company bonds must also be paid on Thursday. The company's share fell from the 10% in trading in Hong Kong on Monday. Defending the problems are raising fears of the impact that a potential collapse could have on China's economy. Evergrande has grown to become one of China's largest companies by borrowing more than 300 billion to 217 billion last year. Beijing brought in new rules to control the amount owned by large real estate developers. New initiatives had led Evergrande to offer its properties at a major discount to ensure money comes in to keep the business going. Today is struggling to meet interest payment on its debts. This uncertainty has seen Evergrande its share price fall by approximately 85%. This year, its bonds have also been downgraded by credit rating agencies around the world. And that's our business and company for today. Our coverage continue right now.
Welcome to our viewers from the Philippines and all around the world. I'm Japheth Saldana, and this is Japheth and Company. For our news, 1, 2, 3, Gerald, Jay, and Joanna, go ahead.
Even if they are barred from entering, the Philippines investigator may collect proof of murder. According to a retired ICC judge, he may utilize an option that allows the International Criminal Court to acquire evidence on crimes agents, community agent President Rodrigo Duterte and his staff as a part of its group into the drug war. Former ICC judge Ron Name stated the trial will be relocated to decide if a case could be amid agents. The authorities designated as a respondent is the new case in an interview with the aides.
The booster shot of Davao City COVID-19 was requested by the task force for the front lines. Duterte said Monday that the Davao City COVID-19 task force has passed a resolution asking the Regional Health Department of DOH to release the booster shot for the healthcare workers in all city hospitals. The resolution came from the various hospitals announced that their manpower was completely depleted due to the challenges posed by the coronavirus disease 2019. He also said the proliferation of COVID-19 in city hospitals was blamed on the shortage of health workers. To Davaoenos to follow minimum public health standards to help workers move forward. Duterte also urged the work-at-home organization and framework among city government employees to help the slow spread of the virus. This is our contribution to our health workers within hospitals who are tired, overworked in COVID-19 cases. We work hard to reduce infection in employees Davao City so that if there is a reduction in infection among our employees, we will not be too burdened on our healthcare workers, he said.
Well, Gabby Petito's boyfriend has spent a lot of time investigating her family's home. The FBI spent several hours Monday searching the family's home of Gabby Petito's boyfriend in Florida. A day after detectives across the country discovered that they suspected her remains as part of an authorized court search link of the Petito investigation. FBI detectives are investigating the Landers' parents' home and Northport and this morning. Meanwhile, detectives are still looking for Landers, who returned to the Florida home earlier this month without Petito refused to talk to the police and then disappeared last week.
This is an accompany with Japheth, where I interviewed people involved in disclosing information from various institutions, either private or public. So here is our exclusive interview. Our interviewees for today is Cyrus Alexis Alvarez and Steve Alvarez. Gentlemen, thank you for joining with me. Okay, for the first question is, what kind of information is gathered and shared by the organization?
Hello, Japheth. How are you? Thank you for having me on your show. In the corporate world, inadequate communication can be quite costly. As a result, decisions can be made based on false assumptions and inaccurate data. Incorrect information can enter your organization for a variety of reasons, including inaccurate instructions and expectations of poor listening skills, inaccurate data, a lack of communication with team members, etc.
One of the most common communication problems is when teams and departments are stuck in a loop and do not share information. A thriving business can be filled with lack of teamwork. This means your company should encourage greater openness in data and information exchange across the board. Spot Solutions that encourages openness and cooperation can help with this. As a result, it is critical are important to your company. Different sectors, on the other hand, will require different dimensions. Those in the more creative sector, for example, don't need to know their working hours to know if they're performing. They generally use product quality and client acceptability as superior indicators of success. This is in contrast to more transactional employees whose productivity is more accurately measured by the number of orders completed and delivery times.
What is the significance of this information to you as an individual?
At all levels of a business, good information is required for efficient operation and decision making. Discusses factors that influence how many managers use information, including manager roles and activities, strategic and operational production processes, rational and alternative behaviors, thinking styles and perspectives, and hidden agenda factors such as the symbolic use of information and information as power. Support selected grids as well as tables of data types, processes, and applications.
What types of information are gathered by the organization?
Businesses large and small can use the current technology to manage company activities and make better decisions. They collect data and process it in accordance with the demands of the analyst, manager, or company owner. Who uses information systems? Businesses can connect better with consumers and partners, reduce cost, and increase revenue by using a variety of information systems.
Which information providers aid the organization in gathering data?
If a company is deciding whether to collect data on its own or hire a consultant, it will need enough data to make an educated conclusion. This section discusses some of the most important points to keep in mind as you go through the various stages of data collecting. These steps do not have to be completed in order. Instead, the model displayed is meant to serve as a guide. The context, the issue that has to be monitored, the goal of the data collection, and the kind and scale of the organization are all elements that influence how data is gathered and analyzed.
The most important issue is to ensure that any information gathered is done in a way and for a purpose that is compatible with the code and conforms with the legislation of freedom of information and privacy protection. It is advised for the sake of effectiveness and efficiency to gather data that will throw light on challenges or opportunities. Information must be acquired using approved data collecting procedures to ensure the data's credibility.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining on our show. It's been a pleasure to be with you.
Saweetie will be dressed in Philippine flag colors in Met Gala 2021. Filipinos and Black recruits were given permission by the rapper on September 13. Rapper Saweetie paid homage to his Filipino and Black roots at 2021 Met Gala, which had an American independence dress code. The rapper is dressed in bespoke, red Christian Cowan gown with two train panels. One is red, yellow, blue, and white to represent the Filipino flag, and another in black, red to commemorate the Black American heritage flag. The gown is hand-embelled with 10 million crystals according to the designer Diamota Cueva. Valentine Harper Saweetie's true name, has a Filipino-Chinese mother and an African-American father. She is well known for the track Icy Girl, and her song Tap In was nominated for an MTV Video Music Award, the Met Gala dubbed Fashion Greatest Night Out. As a benefit for New York's Metropolitan Museum and Art, Anna Windsor, editor-in-chief of Vogue, and celebrity co-chairs were in charge. Timothy Chalamet, Billie Eilish, poet Amanda Gorman, and athlete Naomi Osaka service co-chairs this year. And that's our showbiz and company for today. Back to you, Japheth.
And that's the news for today. Please connect through their social media accounts at Jose Maria College. Also connect through my social media accounts at Japheth Ladonia Saldana. Thank you for watching Japheth and Company. Have a good day.